Students, this is the last video of the chapter Socialism in Europe and Russian Revolution. And today we are going to do quick revision of the entire chapter through flowchart. So you will have to follow the flowchart and one by one all the sequence, all the incident that happened during the revolution of Russia will come before you. We will start our flowchart with the incident that took place after 1815. So basically 1815 was the year in which Napoleon got defeated. And the entire chapter or the entire globe of Europe was changed after that time. So basically after the defeat of Napoleon, the people wanted change in society. Because at that time there was the re-emergence of monarchy in Europe. So that is why people wanted to change the society. Many groups that were already present in Europe, like liberals, radicals and conservatives, they all demanded that the society should be formed in a unique way. Like liberals wanted the society should be free from all the religious defects. Similarly, radicals demanded that here in the society, government should be based on the representation or the majority. Similarly, conservatives were the supporter of old kings. They were not happy with the changes, but little bit after some time, they also became ready to accept some changes. So basically, all the different groups that were present in the Europe, they demanded for change in the society. Now, after that, a particular ideology entered the Europe, and that ideology was socialism. So here we'll have to understand the socialism entered in Europe. So this was the different ideology that got the chance to get entry into the Europe. So basically what was there in the ideology? So basically all the socialists were against the private property. They considered that private property is the root cause of all the problems. And that is why they demanded that property should be given to the society, and society should be the main owner of the property on the resources. But in case of socialism also, the people who were practicing the socialism were termed as socialists, and the socialists also got divided on the issue of distribution of resources or property. Like, you'll have to understand Robert Owen. Robert Owen was the man who demanded for a cooperative. He clearly told that cooperative is the main solution through which we can gather support from others. And this is how the property or the resources will be distributed among all the masses equally. So he gave the concept of cooperative. But thereafter, Marx came, and Marx gave the concept of revolution. He told that the society that is present today is the industrial society, and it will remain an industrial society unless revolution will start. Through the revolution only we can change the society. So that was the demand of Marxist. He called that clearly. That the society that is present today is the capitalist society or the industrial society. So industrial society is only exploitative in nature. So what is the solution? The solution is that a revolution should start by the workers, and workers can bring change in their lifestyle, and a new society would be formed that would be termed as the communist society. So that was the expansion of various socialists who came with the idea of socialism in Europe. But despite they became very popular in Europe, they could not form their government in any part of Europe. Only liberals, radicals and conservatives, they got the chance to form their government in Europe. But socialist group, they could not get the chance. But finally, they got the chance in Russia to form the government. So this is another story that how they got the chance in Russia to form the government. So in order to understand that how they got the chance to rule in Russia, we'll have to understand the Russian continent, the Russian country in great detail. Now, let's start with the Russian regime or Russian Revolution. So you'll have to understand, before you should start understanding the concept of Russian Revolution, you'll have to understand that what was the social and economic structure of Russia, particularly in 1900. So basically you have to understand that Tsar Nicholas II was ruling there, and Tsar Nicholas II was the Russian Empire. And the social and economic condition was not very good under the Tsar Nicholas. People were not very happy. People were very unhappy, particularly because of the economic condition. The Russia was mainly an agriculture country, and industries were there, but only in few pockets, like Moscow. So here you have to understand that economic condition was not very good, and so far as social condition is concerned, society structure. Society was made up of different groups, like the workers were there, like peasants were there, crafts workers were there. So this is how the society was structured. Even among the workers, many workers considered themselves the aristocrat among the workers because of their skill and training, particularly the metal workers. So this is how the society was structured. So basically we found that the society of Russia was completely structured in a different way. I mean to say, one group was more dominating to other. Now, thereafter we are going to understand that what was the significance of 1905 revolution. So basically 1905 revolution was the alarm clock for the Tsar Nicholas that his time is now over. When Putilov iron industry expelled, dismissed many workers, the Father Gapon led the movement and many workers came on the street. So this is how the problem started. And finally the workers were shut down. So it created a lot of tension, lot of irritation among the workers against the Tsar Nicholas. So basically the ground was ready in 1905. The ground became ready in the 1905 revolution only against the Tsar Nicholas. And finally, the step that the Tsar Nicholas took during World War I was the last step in his coffin. Now what was there in the World War in 1914? In 1914, he almost abolished all the political parties, and thereafter he ordered that Russia would be involved in the First World War. So many groups rejected his proposal, and leaders like Bolshevik, leader like Vladimir Lenin, he was exiled because he told that Russia should not participate in the World War I. So basically here in the World War I, the Russian soldiers suffered a lot. They got killed in large numbers, and of course refugee came because of the different policy of Tsar Nicholas. So basically his involvement of Russia in World War I was a great mistake, and finally Tsar Nicholas had to pay for it. So in 1914, whatever the decision he took during the World War I, it created much tension among the soldiers, and now soldiers understood that Tsar Nicholas is not a good king, good monarch. Finally, in 1917, the ground became ready for the Feb Revolution. So Feb Revolution started. When Duma was there, Duma was also suspended. We already discussed about the Duma. So Duma was nothing but the parliament. It was formed, and finally it was suspended twice. Later on, the Cossacks, that was the horse soldiers, and the workers came together. They formed the Soviet group, and finally the Tsar Nicholas had to leave the throne. So Tsar Nicholas left the throne because now he understood that this chapter is now closed. So because of the Feb Revolution, the Tsar Nicholas chapter was closed in Russia. Now after February, after the fall of Tsar Nicholas, the provisional government came to power. But provisional government was also not a good government, because in that many groups were very dominating, like industrialists, landlords. And because of that, one man came, and his name was Tsar Nicholas. Actually, he came back after 1914 to 1917 because he was exiled by Tsar Nicholas, and again he came here after Feb. So in the Feb month he came, and after that he put forwarded his April thesis here in the April thesis. So basically he put forward his April thesis, in which he demanded three things from the provisional government. But provisional government failed to accept his demand, and finally he arranged all the Bolshevik members and all the members of Soviet workers, he got the support of workers, and finally he started the October Revolution. So through the October Revolution, the provisional government chapter was closed, and now the command was under the hand of Lenin. So it was very difficult as October Revolution included various struggle between the army versus army. We already discussed about it, that how the army got split into two parts. One was supporting the provisional government, other was supporting the Bolshevik group, and particularly about the role of military revolutionary committee. Finally, now that country was under the control of Bolshevik and particularly the Vladimir Lenin, but it was not very easy task because other groups were also there who were not satisfied with the way through which the Bolshevik captured the Russia. So finally, the three groups formed in the country: red, green, and white. And the red was termed as Bolshevik group, others were non-Bolshevik, socialist non-Bolshevik, and the supporter of Tsar Nicholas. So finally, civil war started in the country, and ultimately Tsar Nicholas supporters, they also got support from from the France, America. But despite all these things, ultimately the Vladimir Lenin won the war and he got victories. So he ruled over after some time, and finally the last topic was that Stalin came to power and he established his own collectivization theory, and we all know that his theory became unsuccessful later on. So this is how the Russia was under the command of socialists, and finally the socialists, they spread their ideology all around the world, all across the countries, and India also got influenced, including Britain, including the different parts of Europe and America. So we found that the idea of socialism, it first spread in Russia, and the socialists got chance to establish their rule in Russia, and after that the ideology spread to other parts of the world. So this is all about this chapter. Thank you so much.